Hey everybody, this is Peggy, and I am going to show you it's really popular out there, the tag closure card. Now, I know there's lots of videos out there. I've looked at all of them, and this one, the lady's name is Frances, and when she showed this at her on her website, she had learned this technique at one of her upline. And I live in Ohio and my upline's in Pennsylvania, so I don't get that opportunity. But I struggled because I don't like to measure. And she showed how to make this card, and you don't have to measure, so that you get your little tag ends together. Let me just show you, if some of you haven't seen this card, it's a tag closure. And we use the tag punch. Just untie this real quick and I'll show you. So it opens up like that. Isn't that too stinking cute? And I've loved it. I never did it because I kept watching all these videos, and they said, well, and then you got to put a tick mark here, and then you slide this in and you punch it, and then you got to make sure you flip it up. It was too confusing. But when Frances showed how to do it, I thought, now I will try it. Let's get started. Let me show you what I used. I'm going to use the scallop top punch that we have. I'll run all the numbers across the bottom. And then I finally broke down and I ordered some of the color paper that we have, the printed paper. Check out. It's double-sided. Is that like beautiful colors or what? And this one is actually just called In Color 2013 to 2015. So I am loving that. So I tore a piece of that out of there, and that's what I used here. I'm actually going to use another color. So we're going to use that. And then the stamp set I'm going to use is called Happy Watercolor. Let me bring my goodies over. I forgot to grab them. Here we go. So I'm going to be using the Primrose Petals and the Always Artichoke. And then this is the stamp set, Happy Watercolor. Your own, let's see, this is only going to be available till June the 1st of 2014. So if you want this set, I'm happy to send you a catalog if you want to email me. And you can also order on my site. Anyway, there you are. So let's show you how easy that Frances made this card. She took her basic A2 size card, so it comes out to be 8.5 by 5.25. Here is the cool part. She folds it over. You do not crease it. Don't crease it. Let me move in here a little bit more. So I'm not going to crease this part right here. You hold this together, and when you're using cardstock, it is a little tighter to get it in there. It doesn't matter if you want your scalloped here, wherever you stick it. It's fine. You don't have to measure. And I'm all about not measuring. So you're going to stick this in here. Slide her up in there. Now the one thing you want to make sure is to turn it over and make sure that you have it up at the top. Looks like that side could maybe go a little bit more. Okay. So now I'm all the way to the top. Now because it is cardstock, you're going to have to push a little bit harder to get it to go through because it's doubled. Pretty loud. Sorry about that. And then you pull your card out. Now, they are going to be perfectly matched. Now, the one thing that I noticed, and you can clean this up, let me bring it in. If you look right here, you're going to get these little, I call them little ticks of paper. We can trim those out either with an X-Acto knife or with a little pair of scissors, but there you are. Now, here's the part that I still struggle with because I can't figure out exactly how to see it, but we're going to do the best we can. You're going to bring in your paper trimmer. Let me back out here just a little for you. And on one side, start with one side, do one at a time, you want to cut right down, right down here. So like I say, I really struggled to figure that out. So what I'm going to try this time is to see how far back is that. And it is about, let's see, that's 1.5, 1 3/4, about 1 7/8. So I'm going to try measuring this time. Let's see if I can scoot in here and measure it at 1 7/8. Let's see how far that'd be. That would be about there. Does that look about right? See, that looks too far to me, I think. See, this is where you have to figure out where you want to cut, and I think I want to cut there. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, I'll use scissors. And then you're only going to go that far side just to see if I can get it to do it. Maybe doing it this direction works. So we're going to try it at 3/4 and see what happens. because I can see a little better. Because when you get to the dip, you actually can feel. It doesn't help to have stuff underneath there, does it? I really thought I could get this figured out for you, but it looks too far. Alright, I'm going to try there. Yep, that one worked. Ugh, fluster duster. Let's start that again. Okay, I was totally flustered and I cut it off there. Oh, it's driving me crazy. So here's what I did. I figured out a way to do it. So I turned the camera off and I went over, and even though I don't like to measure, I really didn't measure. What I've done, and this works, I took my little pencil and I drew a line using my ruler so that I can see it when I'm on my cutter. And I did this side and it worked. So now let's see if it'll work when I use it. Doing it, having my camera on. So I'm going to line up my cut mark with my little groove. This little groove right here where the blade goes. Make sure I've got it lined up. There it goes. Okay, this one just did a little bit too far, and I'm not going to throw this card away. Let's see, where's my score blade up there? Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I don't want to fold it just yet because I'm going to make it a different place. I'm going to line up the straight edge at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to score there, making sure that I don't have my cut blade. So I'm going to score like so, and this is going to give me my closure. Okay, then you're going to flip it over, and again, putting your edge right at the edge of your cut line, you're going to score your tag. Okay, all right, so this is going to bring your tag over, and now let me put a piece of paper under there so you can see. I hope this isn't too darn confusing. Do you see now my tags meet perfectly? You can see how much trouble I have getting these to cut. Can you imagine when I was trying to make tick marks and putting that in a punch and making sure it matched this way? It's perfect every time. Now if you'll remember, I also told you about these little tick marks right here on the edge, right there. You can simply take your scissors and trim those off. They come off real nice, so not a big deal. So then I cut a hunk of my designer paper. And it is going to be, let's see, what did I make this? 4 by 5 1/4. And let's just adhere that on there. And I'm putting this on the inside for color number 1. And also with this color, I figured that I could stamp right on it. So there's that part. All right, now, then I cut a piece of the designer paper, and I made it 2 by 3 3/4, and I cut a little piece of white that's going to be 1 1/4 by 3 1/2. Now I'm going to stamp on this one. I'm going to bring in my Always Artichoke, and I'm going to stamp my flower from the Happy Watercolor. Now I always stamp the flower part first to make sure I get a good coverage, and then I lightly do the stems so I don't get any of those little, I call them ink boogers. I don't know what anybody else calls them. And we're going to stamp. Alright, we're going to give that a second to dry. But I'm going to use the little background stamp that comes in your Happy Watercolor, this one right here. And I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it really dark. So I stamped off once. Let's see, I think I want to do it twice. So I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm just going to put a couple of those just because I can. Little piece here. Okay, I ran over to the paper, got me another hunk of paper. I plan on making more of these cards. And then you just take your ribbon and you thread it through here. Now, the first one I tied a bow, but then I got to thinking, you know, when you give this to somebody, if they're not card makers, they're going to fuss when they try to get that darn bow to go back. So I think on this one, I'm just simply going to tie a little knot, and then that's all they have to do after they open it. The bow's cute, but not so easy to retie. I may have to press that ribbon out where it was tied into a bow. So there you are. 2 different colors and it works beautifully. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and like I said, I'll run the numbers across the bottom of there, and I hope this helped you if you've been struggling getting your measuring, because, you know, I'm not a measurer, and you'll find that out as time goes on. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great day. Bye.